Today I'm going to be discussing my Game Boy Color build. Briefly, I'll go over the hardware that I'm using here, and that is a FunnyPlaying Q5 version 2 laminated IPS screen. The shell is the NES retro style, the NES controller style. I really love this shell. It's got a nice kind of soft rubberized painting. Feels really great. And then finally, there is a FunnyPlaying Rechargeable Battery Mod. And the neat thing about this battery is that it charges from the original DC jack. Pretty neat stuff. Towards the end of the video, I'll go over some of the features of the screen. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the build process. I've got a new shell from eXtremeRate, a rechargeable battery kit. It's a FunnyPlaying rechargeable battery kit, and a FunnyPlaying laminated IPS. This is a Q5. This is the V2. And for anyone curious specifically, this is the V2.6. You can tell by the way that it is. We'll come back to that. Got here, I have opened this already, opened all this just to check it out. Just the case. I really like eXtremeRate. I think they make pretty nice stuff. I have the same NES controller style on my Switch Joy-Cons. I like it a bunch. It kind of has that soft rubberized feel, but it is just painted on. The design is just painted on to the white plastic. I kind of wish they would have used, black plastic for the front. Because if this scratches, it's just going to be a big white beam coming up from underneath. Likewise on the back, I wish they had just, I love the rubberized feel. Feels great. Really cool. I wish they'd used gray plastic underneath. You can kind of even see, you can see the white down in the screw holes there. What I want to show you first is, so this is an OEM Game Boy, right? And there's no way that this rechargeable battery fits into there. And FunnyPlaying makes shells where the battery fits just fine. eXtremeRate, as far as I know, doesn't yet. So I've kind of had to take matters into my own hands here. And what I've done, I might include footage of this too, but what I've done here is I've 3D printed these little cutting shims. So they just go down where the battery goes. They fit in there pretty snug. And then all you do is you go in, like I used flush cuts to get the majority of it out. You just kind of snip, get as much removed with the flush cutters as you can. And then I went in with a file Just a tiny little file. And an X-Acto knife with like the blades in the very front. So I was, just kind of chiseling away until I had everything nice and flush with the templates that I printed. And then with everything flush, this isn't really super necessary, but I went ahead and made a little insert, 3D printed, so it just snaps down into there. I even made it gray, so it's pretty camouflaged. And the battery fits in pretty nicely. It'll rattle if I really shake it. You can hear it rattle. It's pretty snug. You don't want it too snug, obviously, because if you squeeze that battery, it's going to become a hazard pretty quickly. But anyways, that's what I've got. I do have footage. That's what I've done so far. Now the front of this case, it's going to need some work too. Because you can see it's not quite OEM. The battery bay was basically an OEM Game Boy. This has, you can cut this square out and it fits a screen. I'm not sure which one. Really not sure which screen it was meant to fit. But I do know it specifically says it does not fit this screen. So, I really want it to fit this screen, is the thing. So I've also made this little trim guide. Fits down right into there. Pretty nice. Made it orange because I wanted to have a lot of contrast. So what I'm going to end up doing very carefully zipping away a lot of plastic. I've never done this before, so I'll probably break everything, but we're going to try it out. It did come, this case did come with a full set of black and a full set of red. I've already got those kind of tucked away into my spare parts drawer. What I do have is I wanted the red buttons, black D-pad. I've got that. If you watched the episode, I think, where we repaired this Game Boy, I made a comment about how I really needed a spudger, and I've had one the whole time sitting in this box. Let's get started a little bit. I'm gonna do first, it's like I said, this will scratch. I'm gonna be real careful. What I'm gonna do is glue, because I'm gonna be cutting. I want this thing in there, you know? Want it in there well. And this is just glue stick, so a little Q-tip saturated with water will help this come right back off. I know it looks like I got it on there pretty thick. I know. It'll be okay, probably. So I'm just gonna kind of glue that in there. Don't want it moving around when I'm cutting. Protect the paint, masking tape. This stuff, not super sticky, so it should come off fairly easy. It is the Pro Essentials brand. It's from Dollar General. I want this edge to fold over a little bit. If I slip with this thing, the tape's not really going to make a big difference, to be honest. But hopefully any plastic shavings that get between it and whatever surface it's laying on, tape should do just fine for that. I'm gonna set that aside. Set this one aside. I'm gonna get this going. If possible, I will be reusing the OEM switch. The OEM ones feel real nice, so we'll be reusing this if we can. Also, possibly the start and select. Can try to reuse these as well. Okay, let's talk about the battery mod a little bit more. The way this works is it actually uses the DC jack built into the board. Just like that. However, it needs a little modification so it knows what to do. What we're going to be doing is soldering this to right about there. That'll lay on there like that. And instead of struggling to drip solder, because this point here needs to make contact, this point here needs to make contact, and this point over here needs to make contact exactly where it is on the board. I know that might be a little bit of a struggle, and I don't want to deal with that. So what I've got here is these GPIO headers for, I bought it for like a Raspberry Pi or something, like a screen attachment or something like that. I have like a 10 or 20 pack. I've never used them. So I'm going to do is just pry a couple of these out, solder them to those 3 points. That way we just got a little more to solder to, if that makes sense. But first, the battery will not fit in there with that spring. So we're just going to go ahead and take these battery terminals out. Okay, we got the battery terminals out. All I did there was added fresh, this is leaded solder. This just lowers the melting temperature, makes everything easier to work with. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. We gotta remove that F1, I believe that's a fuse. That's gotta come off because we will be connecting wires to it. So I am just gonna yoink 3 of these right out of there. I've just kind of extended the post straight up. So we got something solid to solder to. It might be a little wonky, but it'll help. And we'll trim off the excess. I think that's going to work pretty nicely. Get this side tacked in and then go from there. Get the other two. There we go. Those look pretty decent. A little big, but we'll snip them. Not too shabby. Now all we need to do is wire contacts from the fuse to the in and out over here. And it should be good to go. I gotta look up which wire goes to which end of the fuse though. So it looks like the left side of F1 goes to out. And the right side of F1 goes to in. Okay, let's see if it lights up. You know? Lights up. Blue light comes on. Let's see if it turns on. I'm not going to hook a screen to it. But I will turn the volume all the way down, which is all the way up, I found out. Turns on. Cool. Now it was bright blue without the battery plugged in. Still bright blue. Might have to look up the colors and stuff, see what all they do, because I don't know off the top of my head. But it's working, so let's keep going. Because cutting this is going to be the scariest part. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Screen kit did come with a couple wires. All pretty long too. And one more short one. Get it out. It also came with an extra touch sensor. I've got ours built right into the ribbon already. But we do need to put some power on it. Kind of awkward soldering that there. Plug our battery back in. And let's see if the screen works. Hey, look at that. Very nice. We'll get a closer look at that in a bit. I think what I'll do is I'll take power off of that. And then we'll make the screen fit into the case. So real quick, we'll just take this back off. Put it back on later. Just making sure the screen works. In fact, Retro Game Repair Shop recommends you do that before you get started doing all your other modifications, probably. I did mine in that order. By the way, this wire, you solder that to the pin labeled C. So they go 3, 2, C, 1. So you just want it on C. Big decisions incoming. Let's try the saw blade. we'll need one of these later, I think, so I'll go ahead and get that ready. Alright, that might be as far as the little Dremel will take us. A little bent. How'd we do? Pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Take this one off too. I don't think it's going to do anything for us. We're about to knock it off of the file anyways. I marked those two lines there with the file. I know they're hard to see, but that's how the rest of this is going to come out. And that's why I folded that tape over, right over there. We'll probably still scuff it up, but since it's black and there's going to be a screen lens right next to it, hopefully, probably just hit it with some Sharpie. Cover all the issues with Sharpie. I'll try to use this thing. Well, this should just remove it right away. There it is, look. That's what we want. That little seam, we want that all the way across. All right. Let's get this mat cleaned up. See what we've done here. Okay. Big reveal. We'll probably end up taping it up again, trimming something, but well, let's just see. That is not bad. Not bad. Let's see if that screen will fit. Tad bit tight still. Okay, so the screen doesn't seem to fit here or here, because in the middle this is very flat, then it curves up. So I'm just trying to work away enough material so that the screen will sit flat. There's not really a whole lot left for this thing to adhere to, but this 3M tape is some good stuff. Finally got it in there. All right. Let's go ahead and just trim these down, just in case. I don't think you need to do this with this kit, but just in case. I need to wire up the buttons for start and select. So the bottom one select. And the top one is start. Oh yeah, let's see if the OEM start and select will actually work in here. Kind of looking like a no. I mean, maybe. Yeah, let's try those out. Looking good. You don't have to remove this stuff, but I want to, if I can. There we go. I'm actually going to use the FunnyPlaying or eXtremeRate screw pack for this. Just gonna feed this battery through here. I don't know if this will actually reach. I haven't tried this. I know it's gonna be a little annoying to get it, but I think we can get it. Actually, just gonna go ahead and close that right up. Okay, we got that connected. Just put the switch. Will the OEM switch work? I hope. Looks like it will. Probably will when it's all buttoned up. Yeah, it's gonna work. IR shield. I guess we'll put that touch sensor just right down in there. I'm missing 2 of my OEM screws. Actually, I ended up using the Phillips style screws for the battery cover. Okay, so this is the completed product. I have been using it for a couple days at this point. I put some stickers on it. I didn't film that, I just put them on. I wanted to talk about a couple things I ran into that were difficult to deal with. I mentioned a few times this case is not designed for these screens, and it specifically says so. So there was a lot of trimming. There was a lot of work to get that in there. If you recall, at one point I said that if I burred any of this edge, I would just hit it with Sharpie. I forgot to hit it with Sharpie. So there is a couple paint flecks. I don't think that's dust. It's definitely missing paint, but that is okay. Also, on the power LED, I'm not sure how well this will come. Yeah, you can kind of see. You see how there's like, it looks like there's scratches around the red light. Those scratches are because I was, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to cut away the adhesive. I know it's clear and it's not going to interfere much, but I want to cut it away. And pretty much as soon as I cut across the adhesive, I realized I had scored paint and that was a bad idea. So I do have a couple little scratches around my LED. Not too thrilled about that, but it is what it is. There are many like it, but this one's mine. Oh, also, in the video, you see me solder that power wire. If you have this model revision motherboard, the 2.6, like I showed in the beginning of the video, that is completely unnecessary. And in fact, I charged this overnight, the first night I had built it, and then the screen didn't come on the next day. And just a little troubleshooting, I unsoldered that wire just to see, and it worked. So I don't know if that hurt or if something was shorting. If I just kind of haphazardly left a wire positioned poorly, I'm not sure what happened there. But removing that power bridge from the power switch to the ribbon cable seemed to fix everything. And what was happening was the Game Boy was turning on. I could hear the Pokemon music playing. The screen was not on though. So that's what was going on there. I do want to just quickly cover features of the screen. So we soldered those wires for start and select. So what you do is you hold down start and select. You see how this changes and highlights game? So right now, we are in a mode to realign the screen vertically. So if I start tapping start, this might be easier to show off without the game running. All right. So we're in vertical alignment mode. I'm going to tap start. You see how with start and select, I'm able to move the screen up and down. And then if you tap our touch sensor up top, it'll switch to boy. Now we're in horizontal alignment mode. So I'm moving the screen to the left, back to the right. So that's what that's for. Then one more tap up top. Now we can cycle the colors. I think there's like 20 colors, 30 maybe. I think I'm going to stick with the red. And then start select, save your settings, and continue that way. Really neat that you can change your colors. It is kind of a shame that the logo is going to be all the same color, but you know, it is what it is. And it's still pretty cool. I suspect most of these are going to be perfectly aligned from the factory anyhow, but just in case yours is off, the option's there. The options are nice. The battery, pretty nice. I don't really know. I think I played Pokemon for like 5 hours straight. Battery was going just fine. This kit, by the way, I believe it is not play and charge, so please do not charge the kit. Charge your Game Boy while you're playing it. That's a terrible idea. You can damage that battery, and that's how fires happen, and other bad things. Oh. So that circuit board we soldered on to make this whole thing work or the rechargeable battery. It does have charge indicators, but that board's like right here, so I'm thinking about maybe drilling out a hole through this and filling the hole with like clear epoxy resin. Not sure. Yeah, I can kind of see through the seams blue, but it is not really showing up on the camera. So I do see light bleed while it's on the charger. I'm not really seeing any now though. So if you're gonna do this battery mod, probably gonna have to drill holes. If you really need to see some sort of charging status indication, drill holes. I like the idea. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it yet though. Or you can just get a clear shell. Problem solved. But yeah, I think that's about it. I had a lot of fun doing it. I really do enjoy the way it came out, despite a couple errors that are completely my fault. Still pretty pleased with it. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna get out of here, dude.